This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only.
What up, though, family? Let's go over in this video what is the most important thing that you should be doing when you start your non-emergency medical transportation business or private transportation business. What is the number one thing that we all should be doing when we get started? Let's go over that in this video. Let's get into it. What up, though, family? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be discussing what is the number one thing that you should be doing when starting your non-emergency medical transportation business. And without any further explanation, this video we're going to be discussing market research. What is market research? What you should be doing during the process of doing your market research, and how to effectively do market research for you and your transportation business. Because as we all know, all states are not created equal. I say this all the time. So what's going on in Illinois is not happening in Michigan. What's not happening in Michigan is not happening in California. Or what's going on in California is not happening in Las Vegas or Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Ohio, Virginia, Massachusetts. Everybody has different things that's going on in their particular state. And you should be knowing what's going on in your state, so you know how to effectively put your private transportation business together. You know what I'm talking about? So you can be eligible to work with Medicaid and, brokers and things of that nature. So when you're first starting off doing your market research, what do you want to do? What are some of the things that you should be looking for? So first thing I would say for you to do is determine the type of client that you want to service. Okay, what I mean by that is, there's all different type of clients, such as, do you want to be ambulatory? What I mean by ambulatory is, you're servicing dialysis patients, physical therapy, medical facilities, hospital discharges, cosmetic surgery, student transportation, adult daycare facilities, pharmacy and medication pickup, airport transportation, if needed. You know what I'm saying? There's different type of clients that you could be servicing. So while you're in your area, right, just think about this. If you see, or you start to get into this business, start talking to these medical facilities and see what type of clients that they service, or what type of patients that they have in a particular facility, and see if there is some type of need for that particular service. Some communities may need wheelchair accessible vehicles. And what if there's only one transportation company in your particular county that offers, wheelchair accessible vehicles? Well, then that would be one of the things that you may be considering as far as getting a vehicle for that particular, to hone in on that particular client. So when you're coming up with these type of clients that you want to service, just have that in mind as far as what is the need that I have in my community. You can ride around, different medical facilities or different, hospitals, and, go in there and speak to those people, directors or people in charge of transportation, and see what type of needs that they have. So this is where you come in and you do your own research. This is imperative, so you can know, okay, well, if I'm gonna only deal with dialysis or student transportation, maybe I only need a 4-door vehicle. I don't need a wheelchair vehicle. And this is where this process comes into play, because it could save you a lot of money in the beginning, because during this process you want to know what your startup cost is too, and then we're going to talk about that in a minute. But that first thing is determining your type of client that you want to service. Like I said, there's all different type of clients that you can service in a particular industry, and just figure out 2 or 3 main clients that you want to hone in on, so you can have that primary focus, so people can, know the type of services that you provide. Meaning, like on your website, I service, wheelchair accessible clients. Okay, so people know to reach out to you for that particular service. This is not really that cut and dry. Next, you want to determine the need of services in your community. Determine the need of services. You might be asking, what do I mean by that? The type of services. So, say for instance that you have a wheelchair accessible vehicle, where there's only a certain amount of customers that are going to need that wheelchair accessible vehicle. So with that being said, make sure that you are, I guess, promoting or marketing, to those communities, whether it's senior assisted living, whether it's people with that dialysis that may need that particular service, or people being discharged from the hospital, or maybe even physical therapy. There's several people that may need this wheelchair accessible vehicle. On the flip side of that, okay, you might just you're starting off with your personal vehicle. You're buying a vehicle that is not wheelchair accessible, but it can transport, let's say, 4 or 5 clients. Then you can determine, okay, well maybe I want to go to a senior senior assisted living facility. I may can transport more than 2 or 3 patients at a time. Or you can get a Sprinter van. There's several things that we can go into as far as giving you this information, but it all boils down to you doing your research to figure out what you need in your community, because each county, roughly, depending on how big your county is roughly around, we'll say it could be 2 million people in that particular county, or about 2 million, 1 million people in that county. They could be as low as $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. $50,000, 50,000 people in that community. So determine the type of services that you want to provide. You could just do student transportation, where you're only transporting usually twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon when they let out. So that could help you as well. So coming into that community, figuring out that need base of services that's needed, then you can determine what you want to provide and type of monetary value you want to charge for your services. If you are not in a broker state, then you want to do private pay. Let me clarify that as well. Next, we want to talk about, okay, well, what are the startup costs? Okay, so when you're starting a business, you always want to know how much is it going to cost me to start this particular business. So you may be only working with a limited amount of resources, and you may want to get a loan or whatever the case may be to start the business up. So you want to know a general idea of what you want to come out of pocket. So some of the expenses that you may be occurring in the beginning of starting this particular business would be licensing. You may need licensing. What I mean by licensing, you may need CDL, you may need Nemt certifications, CPR certifications, PASS certification, defensive driver training certification. There's different type of certifications that you may need, and the cost varies. So if you go on to ctaa.org and get your passenger assisted safety sensitivity certification, that is $750 if you are a non-member, and it's, I believe, $650 if you are a member of that community. Or they have an online version, which is $50. So again, it all depends on what type of certification that you're seeking out to get. But I would tell you to, when you're doing your research, make sure that if you are required to do these certifications to work with brokers or Medicaid, try to do that stuff early, to knock it out instead of waiting to the last minute, because when it's time to submit that application to the brokers and things of that nature, you already have all these things in place and not playing catch up in the end. Because some of these processes, takes a little minute, for it to go through. Got on a consultation call, I believe it was like a week ago or something it's 2 weeks ago now. But to make a long story short, they're out in Hawaii, and their particular process, I believe she said, takes like 180 days. So we know what 180 days is. That's roughly, 6 months? That's 6 months for that process to go through. She got the email back saying it's going to take 180 days for the processing. So then again, when you're doing your market research, you'll have this general idea. Okay, well, this process is going to take me, 120 days. This process might only take me 2 to 4 weeks, such as, your MPI application or anything of that nature. So startup costs, there's licensing, certifications. But if you don't have a vehicle, you're researching the type of vehicle that you want, how much it's going to cost you. Insurance. We all need vehicle insurance. What type of vehicle insurance that you're going to need. Application fee. Some states have application fees where, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to do business in that particular state, such as Ohio, North Carolina, California, Arizona, I believe Las Vegas, Hawaii, you know what I'm saying, Wyoming, you know what I'm saying, those particular states, there's an application fee. So you want to know how much New York, you know what I'm saying, there's several states that require you to have application fees to pay, you know, along with the application. And what you usually do is you mail in a certified cashier's check or a money order or personal check, and you mail it into your state agency, and then they'll, you know, approve it and send you or deny it, depending on if you have your paperwork together. And the key to this is make sure your paperwork is all the way together. The reason why I'm saying that is that particular application fee, majority of the time, is non-refundable. So you do not get that back. So if you mess it up, you know what I'm saying, it's on your own accord, okay, you lost that, whatever that fee is. So make sure you stay on top of that at all times. And you want to stay on top of your business anyways. So again, we still on startup costs, cash reserves. Okay, cash reserves is important because you may run into, you know what I'm saying, some issues. The vehicle may break down. You know, you only have that one vehicle, and you're starting off with that one vehicle, and you need another vehicle. So this will be an easy way for you to hurry up and get it in the shop, get it out the shop, so you won't lose any money. Or if you have two vehicles, then you can throw that vehicle in the shop. Or if you have the cash reserves, you can purchase hopefully, you know what I'm saying, a used vehicle in and around maybe $10,000. Now, depending on if you get a wheelchair accessible vehicle, or is just going to be a personal vehicle. If you get your personal vehicle, you know what I'm saying, off of some type of website, cars.com or something like that, you maybe get about $4,000 or $5,000. So you want to have cash reserves just for the purpose of, you know what I'm saying, having your back, you know what I'm saying, just in case something happens during this process. So having your cash reserves is all about your startup costs as well. Building. A building, a place where you house your vehicles. This is optional. So in the beginning, I would say stay away from it, just so you can keep some of that overhead in house. You don't have to have, in most states, you don't have to have a building to house your vehicles, but in some states they do require it. I'm not sure of those states. I remember running into those states doing some research years ago, but I cannot remember exactly what states it are. So this is part of doing your market research. I'm going to keep on saying that market research is always going to be important, because this is the best way for you to understand, okay, well, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, so I need to follow these particular steps in order for me to get started. I understand I'm watching these videos, but that doesn't apply to me in, you know what I'm saying, Nashville. So do your market research is why I'm saying this, and we'll continue to say it. Okay, continuing education. Okay, well, continuing education, well, your CPR certification is only applicable for 2 years. You have to recertify every 2 years. Your PASS certification, I believe, is every year. Yeah, I believe it's every year. And then dash cam. You want to get dash cameras inside your vehicle. That can save you on your insurance, which is really, really important. And then it's just for your safety and the safety of your clients. So it's doing research on how much it costs for it to install some dash cams. Next is insurances. We were talking about this briefly on the last segment, so we wanted to go into it more a little deeper. So insurances, you're going to need vehicle insurance for your vehicle to transport people from one destination to another, and without, you know, going crazy. I just want you to know that this is one of our most expensive things that we got to pay for on a monthly basis in our business, is vehicle insurance. What you're going to need majority of the time is going to be commercial auto insurance, general liability insurance, and then in some cases, very rare, but in some cases you may need bonded insurance, and they may require you to get like $1 million bonded $1 million bonded insurance policy, which would be like 10% of that, which is $100,000, unfortunately. But in most, again, that's in most states. In most instances, it's not going to be required for you to do this. But I want to throw it out there so you just have that understanding that it is possible, because you could be in one of them fly states, you know what I'm saying, that you have to do this. But insurances, and what you want to make sure that your business is always covered during this process, because, you know, It won't be because of you majority of the time, you or your drivers. It could be just some crazy kid, or you know what I'm saying, somebody that's on their phone and they just so happen to run into your vehicle and injure you or your client. So make sure you keep your vehicle insurance, which is important. And last but not least, what we're talking about in this particular process is hiring. Okay, hiring is important because you want to know what type of during this hiring process, which method are you going to use? Are you going to use the hourly employee or salary method, or are you going to use the independent contractor way? So if we go explain to you the hourly method, well, there's things that you got to do when you're hiring an hourly employee. One would be wages. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to pay $24 an hour, or how are you going to pay them every hour? And then depending on how many hours you're going to have them on the clock will determine how much you're going to have as far as overhead go, coming out your overhead. Next will be health insurance. I'm not sure if you're going to offer health insurance, but it would be commendable for you to offer health insurance for, you know what I'm saying, your particular hourly employees. And, majority of the time, you know, I'm not going to say people offer insurance, because most states, when I started off in this business, they didn't offer me health insurance. So health insurance is not, you know, something that's required, but like I said, during this process of doing your market research, it may be required. So this is the reason why I'm telling you to do your market research, because your state might be a little bit different than where we at in the 313-734 area. What up, though? Workman compensation. You might also need to have workman compensation for your employees, just in case something happens in the process of transporting their patients and they get injured. So workman compensation may be something that you need to consider and check out as far as what the cost may be. And then unemployment insurance. You got to lay them off. Maybe they may qualify for unemployment insurance, and unfortunately that may be something that you got to foot the bill for, because you have to, you know, you have to pay into this on a quarterly basis, unemployment insurance. And then next we're going to talk about, lastly, independent contractor. Okay, independent contractor is 1099, where you contracted them basically per trip, or, you know what I'm saying, yeah, basically per trip. So if they do 20 trips for you, they're getting contracted for those 20 trips for that particular day. So you can either pay them at the end of the day, or you can pay them at the end of the week, based off the set number amount that you come up with, as far as, you know, paying them. I'll pay them $40 per trip, and if they do 20 trips, so you know at the end of the week how much you'll be paying them for those 40 trips. You know what I'm saying, per day. More than likely, it won't be 40 trips per day. It may be 40 today. It might be 17 tomorrow. Maybe 21 on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. You know, all depends on, you know, how many trips you are contracting with, and then you just have a set amount price for those particular trips. So again, we want to go more into detail as far as market research goes, and this is why you need to know. It's imperative for you to, you know what I'm saying, do your own market research, because these I guess 5 key points that we talked about today is something that you need to consider when you're starting off doing your business. So market research is number 1 thing that you need to do when you're starting an NEMT transportation business. So if that helped you, okay, remember, we have other videos on our playlist, here, wherever, that allow you to get better information on how to start your private transportation business. Again, I appreciate you watching. Hey, I'll see you on the next one. Say Lou.